Right, so in this video, I'm going to explain how to do Lua scripting in Browser Tamer. And what's Lua? Lua is a programming language, and I think it's just great. Originally, Lua was invented for scripting in video games, but a lot of big and popular products are using Lua. So some of them you definitely know, like Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, Cisco routers, some game engines like Cockroach 2D, CryEngine, video editor like DaVinci Resolve, HA Proxy, video game engines, scripting for Minecraft or Roblox, and you definitely know those games if you have kids. Vim and NeoVim uses Lua for scripting, Wireshark, and even VLC. And I personally like it because the runtime of Lua is tiny, it's about 200 kilobytes. And the language itself is really simple and incredibly fast. It's also really extensible, and it's available on VCPKG, which means I can just add it to my application with a few lines of a CMake script. But anyway, let's come back to the scripting part.
Made Browser Tamer break the chain.
Okay, so there are two places in Browser Tamer where you can use scripts. The first is pipeline, and the second one is rules. So the pipeline is executed before any rule is applied. There are several built-in pipeline steps which Browser Tamer already performs, like unwrapping Office 365 links, unshortening links, something that is shortened with bit.ly or other URL shorteners, or perform string substitutions. And one of the other pipeline steps is scripting. Make sure you have it enabled, because if scripting is disabled, any of the scripts you write will be completely ignored. Browser Tamer also has something called a script editor located in Tools menu. And script editor is simply a convenient way to write and test Lua scripts. The script editor allows you to write both scripts for the pipeline and for the rules part. When you write a pipeline script, it must start with ppl_. This is how Browser Tamer knows that this function should be executed during the pipeline processing. Otherwise, the functions are totally ignored. Of course, ignored functions can be used as a helper functions if you write some common functionality. So to test your pipeline functions, you can always use another tool called Pipeline Debugger. And what this tool allows you to do is look at the URL flow as Browser Tamer does it. So when you type anything in the URL or window title or process, the Pipeline Debugger will highlight interesting bits in green. For this exercise, we don't actually need the browsers part, we're only interested in pipeline part, so I will only keep this one expanded. And rearrange the windows a bit so it makes more sense. So, for instance, if I type this bit.ly link, you can see that unshortened step actually transforms it to Microsoft.com because that's the shortened link. You can also see the green dot here, meaning that this pipeline step actually triggered some action. Now, let's say I would like all of the links that start with meet.google.com to have a suffix appended, $auth user equals to 1. So I can write a function called ppl, which is a prefix for pipeline step, gmeet, and a Lua script which checks if the string p_url, which is the incoming URL, starts with meet.google.com. Then we return the concatenated URL plus $auth user equals to 1. So if we put it in a pipeline debugger, you can see that the pipeline step script has changed the link to the following. So that's all that pipeline scripting does. Now for rules, it's almost the same, but functions work slightly different. If for pipeline you need to return the changed URL from the function. For rule, you need to return true or false, depending on whether you want the rule to be successful or not. And then, similar to pipeline, the rule function must be prefixed with rule underscore. This is also important, otherwise Browser Tamer will ignore these functions. As an input argument, well, actually the function does not accept anything as an input argument, but Browser Tamer populates the global variable p, which is a structure with 3 members. And the members are URL, WT, standing for window title, and PN, which stands for process name. So let's say I'd like to write a function which checks that window title of the calling process contains GitHub. And if it does, it will return true, otherwise false. Here is the function. And when I press save, it will appear in the drop-down. I can actually test it from the script editor by pressing run. You can see that the function returned true when window title was GitHub or GitHub blah blah blah. If it's something else, then the function will return false. So that's the function. And now you need to bind this function to the browser profile. So in my case, I would like to open it in the in-private window in Microsoft Edge. So I will select the in-private profile, press add rule, choose Lua script and the function that I wrote. Save the configuration and that's it. Now, when this function returns true, the rule will be hit. So those are the very basics of scripting. Now, yeah, the examples I gave you are very trivial, but you can basically write and use any functions from the Lua standard library. So if you head to lua.org, you can always navigate to the reference manual. I'm always using the latest Lua version. And for instance, let's find the string functions that Lua supports. String manipulation. So you've got find, which we've just used. These functions for formatting and matching, which is more complicated than finding a substring, and so on and so on. So the possibilities are basically endless. And of course, if you want me to help you with any scripting, I'll be more than happy to do that. I will also publish some examples. So happy scripting.
Browser Tamer sets them free. Rules to tame the wild they obey. Proxy scripting leads the way. Auto text attacks your every whim. Watch as chaos turns to him. Browser Tamer save the day. Guide our clicks in every way. Rules and scripts, your mighty sword. Hail the tamer, break the code. Tabs can't hide from your sharp eyes. Proxy like a